Absolutely, Karl. Anytime you want to talk, I'm all ears, Josh replies warmly, his hand still resting on Karl's shoulder. He takes a step closer, closing the remaining distance between them. Their chests brush against each other, the heat of their bodies mingling in the confined space. Josh can feel Karl's rapid heartbeat, a mirror to his own racing pulse. In fact, Josh continues, his voice barely above a whisper. Maybe we could start right now. Stay a little longer and let's unpack whatever's weighing on you. He gives Karl's shoulder a gentle squeeze. I'm not going anywhere. Josh's eyes lock onto Karl's, filled with compassion and encouragement. Karl's breath hitches as he stares into Josh's earnest eyes, the sincerity shining through almost too much to bear. He knows he's playing with fire, opening himself up to possibilities he's never dared consider before. And yet, slowly, hesitantly, Karl nods. Okay. Yeah, I'll stay a while longer. He takes a shaky breath, steeling himself for the emotional journey ahead. But only because I know I can trust you, Josh. With everything. With those words spoken, Karl feels a weight lift off his chest, replaced by a nervous fluttering in his stomach. He steps back, putting a little space between them, and gestures toward the couch. Mind if we sit down? This might take a minute. Karl sinks into the cushions, rubbing his palms against his thighs, smiles softly at Karl's admission, touched by the depth of trust he places in their friendship. Of course, we can take all the time you need, Josh assures him, moving to sit beside Karl on the couch. He angles his body toward Karl, making sure to give him ample personal space while still conveying his attentiveness. Josh rests his hands on his knees, poised and patient. Start wherever feels right for you, Josh encourages gently. I'm listening, Karl. No judgment, just honest communication. Josh's expression is open and receptive, inviting Karl to share whatever thoughts and feelings he's grappling with. The soft glow of the lamp casts a warm light over them both, creating a cozy, intimate atmosphere conducive to vulnerable conversations. Karl takes a deep breath, his mind racing as he tries to put his jumble of emotions into coherent thoughts. He looks down at his hands, fidgeting with the hem of his shirt before finally speaking. It's just, lately I've been having these thoughts. About guys, about you specifically. He pauses, gathering courage. I've never felt this way before, Josh. It scares me. Karl risks a glance at Josh, gauging his reaction. When he sees nothing but empathy and understanding, he continues, his words tumbling out faster now. I know I've said some pretty messed up things about gays in the past, but that was just a defense mechanism, I guess. A way to push down my own feelings. He runs a hand through his hair, frustration edging into his voice. Listens intently, taking in every word without interrupting. Thank you for being brave enough to share this with me, Karl, Josh responds when Karl falls silent. It means a lot that you trust me with your innermost thoughts and struggles. Josh reaches out and gently covers Karl's fidgeting hands with his own, offering comfort and support. What you're experiencing is completely normal. Attraction isn't something we control. It's okay to feel confused or scared, especially given how you've tried to repress these feelings in the past. He squeezes Karl's hands lightly. The fact that you recognize where your previous attitudes came from shows real growth and self-awareness. That's something to be proud of, not ashamed. Josh meets Karl's gaze directly, his eyes filled with kindness and acceptance. Karl looks away, shame burning hot in his cheeks. It's just so hard, Josh. I've spent so long denying who I am, convincing myself I'm straight. What if I'm not? What does that make me? He pulls his hands free from Josh's grasp, hugging his arms around himself. I don't want to lose you. Or anyone else. If they found out, I couldn't handle the rejection. A tear slips down Karl's cheek, a rare display of vulnerability. He hastily wipes it away, sniffling. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so emotional. Karl forces a weak smile, trying to regain his composure. Anyway, that's why I've been so distant lately. It's not you, it's just everything. Feels his heart ache for Karl, seeing the pain and fear etched on his face. Hey, it's okay to cry, Karl. You don't have to hold everything in, Josh says softly, scooting closer and wrapping an arm around Karl's shoulders. He pulls Karl into a side hug, holding him tight. You won't lose me, no matter what. I care about you deeply, and that won't change based on who you love or who you are. Your identity is just one part of you, and it doesn't define our friendship. Josh rubs his hand soothingly along Karl's back. As for others, true friends and family will accept you for who you are. Those who reject you aren't worth keeping in your life anyway. Surround yourself with people who love and support you unconditionally. Karl leans into the hug, letting Josh's warmth envelop him like a cocoon. For the first time in a long time, he feels safe enough to drop his guard, to let someone see the cracks beneath the surface. I wish it were that simple, Karl mumbles into Josh's shoulder. But it's not like I can just come out to everyone tomorrow. My parents, my coworkers, they'd never understand. He pulls back slightly, looking up at Josh with haunted eyes. What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not gay, just confused? I don't want to rush into anything or hurt anyone in the process. Karl sighs heavily, running a hand through his disheveled hair. I guess I just need time to sort through all this, to figure out who I really am, away from the noise and expectations of the world. Nods understandingly, giving Karl's shoulder another reassuring squeeze. There's no rush, Karl. Coming out is a deeply personal decision, and it should happen on your terms, not anyone else's. It's okay to take all the time you need to explore your feelings and gain clarity. Josh looks at Karl with compassion. Confusion is a natural part of the process. It's better to be honest with yourself than to try and force labels or expectations onto your experiences. Take it day by day, moment by moment. Trust your instincts. He smiles encouragingly. And remember, I'm here for you every step of the way. Whether you need a sounding board, a friend to lean on, or just someone to hang out with and take your mind off things, I'm your guy. Josh gives Karl a gentle nudge with his elbow. Karl chuckles weakly at Josh's teasing nudge, some of the tension easing from his shoulders. Thanks, man. I don't know what I'd do without you. He takes a deep breath, feeling more centered after their talk. I think I needed to hear that it's okay to be uncertain, to not have all the answers right away. It's just a lot to process. Karl glances at Josh, a hint of gratitude shining in his eyes. I'm lucky to have a friend like you, someone who accepts me for who I am, flaws and all. He stands up, stretching his arms above his head. Well, I should probably get going. But thanks again, Josh, for listening, for understanding. It means more than you know. Smiles warmly at Karl, glad to see him relaxing a bit. Anytime, Karl. That's what friends are for. And hey, if you ever want to talk more or just hang out, you know where to find me. Josh stands up too, giving Karl a friendly clap on the back. Take care of yourself, okay? Remember, you're not alone in this. We'll figure it out together. As Karl turns to leave, Josh calls out, "Oh, and Karl, I meant what I said earlier. You're amazing just the way you are. Don't forget that." Josh watches Karl walk away, hoping their conversation provided some comfort and clarity. He knows Karl still has a journey ahead, but he's confident his friend has the strength to navigate it. Stops briefly at the door, a small smile playing on his lips at Josh's words. Thanks, Josh. I won't forget. With that, Karl steps out into the night, feeling lighter than he has in weeks. As he walks home, the cool air helps clear his head. Josh's unwavering support and understanding mean the world to him. For the first time, Karl allows himself to entertain the possibility of a future where he embraces his true self, fears, and all. It's a daunting prospect, but also strangely liberating. With Josh by his side, he feels ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. As he climbs into bed later that night, Karl drifts off to sleep with a sense of hope blooming in his chest. Tomorrow is a new day, full of endless possibilities.